Welcome back. It's Thursday morning. I'm here to talk about one of the greatest subjects on my channel, how I rate books. I got this idea from Christina Winikoff at Paper Pages Possibility. She commented on one of my videos recently and asked me, how do you rate books? And it got me thinking. I've never done one. I've never done a video about how I rate books. I think people just kind of gathered to my channel and kind of trusted, and based on what I read and similarities to what they read, they've kind of just grown to trust me. I did do a let me know video, which I will tag here, about ratings and if they matter. It got a ton of feedback from a lot of you all, and the overwhelming majority was ratings do matter, and people come to BookTube on YouTube because they want to know what people think and they want recommendations. And so, yeah, ratings matter. So let's talk about my system. First and foremost, I'll preface by saying this is my opinion. This is how I do it. It's not the way to do it. Take it for what it's worth. I'm not a professional book reviewer. I am not Steve Donahue, and my opinions are my opinions. So my system, I do a 5-point scale. I'm looking at the major factors of writing style, theme, twists, turns, world building, scenery, climax, ending, plot, conflict, characters. And I'm honest. I'm never going to feed you a line of dookie. If everyone loves this book, this Brandon Sanderson book, I'm going to go out and probably get it as well. But at the same time, if I don't like it, I'm not just saying, well, yeah, it was good. I'm going to tell you I didn't like it, first and foremost. So let's talk about how I score. So there's two parts to this. First, I try to figure out where the book lands from 1 to 5. I score 1 to 5. I don't use whole numbers. We'll get into that in a second. But first and foremost, DNFs do not matter. I don't score them because I didn't read it all. And so I don't score a DNF. But a 1 is an awful book. I didn't enjoy anything really. And that's what I rate a 1. A 2 is a book that's not good, but maybe had a few moments, maybe an element here or there that I enjoyed, whether it was characters or maybe a twist or something like that. A 3 is a good book. There were characters or conflicts or twists and turns or world building or pacing that I enjoyed. It doesn't meet all of the factors, but it meets several of them. A 4 is a great book. It meets a majority of the themes. It's got great characters. It's got a good plot. The climax was really good. It had a cool twist. The writing style was okay. That's probably going to be in the 4s. And a 5 is a perfect book. I've had only a few of them, I think, maybe 1 or 2 on the channel, but it checks off everything. And I just connected with it in a way that there's just no doubt in my mind. It's a 5. It's 5. So secondly, once I decide if a book, say, for instance, book number 1, if I decide, hey, this is definitely a 3, it's a good book, it meets several of the factors. Where do I go? Because I don't rate everything just a 3. I rate things a 3.5 or a 3.8 or a 3.7 or a 3.3. And so if it's a good book and it's a 3 and it meets a majority of those factors that I look for, it's probably going to be a 3.5 plus. So somewhere between 3.5 to 3.9. If book number 2, as an example, is a good book, but I only enjoyed a couple of the things, it's probably going to be a 3.1 to 3.4. And so that's kind of how I establish, something being a 3.3, a 3.7. That's how I go about it. And so to kind of wrap this up, because this is really thrilling, I bet, it's far from perfect, my system, but this is how I do it. I don't feel like I should change, although, like I mentioned, other booktubers recently have changed to more thumbs up, thumbs down. They've done yay and nay. I liked it, I didn't like it. And it's not because of laziness. I think it's just because they feel an obligation, as do I, to make sure that you're well informed, and we don't want to mislead you. I mean, honestly, let's be honest. If I told you, like, this book's fantastic, and you go out and you read it, and you're like, I don't know what the heck he was smoking, like, you're not going to tune in, or you're going to have some distrust. And I feel an obligation, even though I'm doing this as a hobby, to give you an honest and critical opinion about a book. And I hope you appreciate that. And we're not always going to jive, because let's be honest, there is subjectivity to this. I mean, when we're talking about these major categories and how I rate them, it's my take on them, not yours. And so ultimately, my goal with my rating system is to give you feedback to get you in the ballpark. It's not going to get you all the way to home base, but it's going to get you maybe a second, you know, and in the in-ground double is not bad. So anyways, that's my system. This is the video. I want to thank again Christina Winikoff at Paper Pages Possibilities for kind of putting this idea out there. It's definitely one that I was remiss in doing. I should have done this a long time ago, but I hope you appreciate it, and I hope you're having a great Thursday. I will talk to you all on the next one.